Well, welcome back to episode 10 of Training for Leadville, the series where I'm chronicling my training all the way up to the Leadville 100. This week I just completed the Silver Rush 50, got the shirt right here in Leadville. We'll get to that. Spent a lot of time in Leadville this week, so it was a good week. And yeah, let's dive right in. So Monday, July 3rd called for a rest day. And that morning, my wife and I were sitting out drinking our coffee and we were like, you know what, let's go camping. That'd be fun. It was just kind of a total last minute decision. Very lucky that we were able to find somewhere, but we did load up the van, get the kids, and we went up to kind of the Mount Princeton area just below that, driving around. We were trying to find a couple of first come, first serve sites to see if anything might be available still. I mean, it was a holiday weekend or holiday days. But yeah, so we didn't find anything there. It was absolutely gorgeous, but we did, of course, find a place in Leadville. We drove up there in one of the dispersed camping areas where I've stayed before. We were able to find a great spot really close to the portable toilet, which was fantastic to have that. Really beautiful, great weather. I mean, Leadville, it was gorgeous. It was windy, but it did calm down in the evening. We were able to get a fire going. We did a little hike, just with the mountains in the view, Mount Massive in the background, Mount Elbert. I mean, it was just gorgeous and a good time to be at altitude. I had a race coming up in just a few days in Leadville. So perfect time to get at altitude and kind of get used to it a little bit. So Tuesday, July 4th called for a 45-minute easy run. However, we were in Leadville with the family, so I did do a hike later. But first that morning, we sat around the campfire, kind of enjoyed ourselves, but then we packed up camp and headed into Leadville because my wife had never been downtown, neither had the kids. And just stroke of luck, we happened to catch the Leadville 4th of July parade. So we sat and watched that for a few minutes. The kids got some candy, saw some cool cars and things go by. It was neat. Cool small town vibe, really cool. And then after that, we drove around Turquoise Lake. Obviously I'm going to be running around one side of that for the Leadville 100. So we drove around that. It was just absolutely gorgeous. The views were breathtaking. I mean, it was amazing. And then along the drive, we came across the Shimmering Point, one of the overlooks. We drove out to that and then did a very short hike, maybe 2/10 of a mile out, 2/10 back, a real short hike. But it was all downhill to a little clearing where you could see out Turquoise Lake. Very rocky, just beautiful view though. Once we got out there, it was gorgeous. And on the way back up, I threw Katrin on my back because she was complaining a little bit. So I got some good training on the legs, carrying 40 pounds at 10,000 feet was definitely, I could feel it in the legs for sure. But yeah, just a short hike that day. That was about it. Some walking, hiking, nothing crazy. Didn't do the run. But then later on that afternoon, after that, we headed back home. And so it was a good spur of the moment camping trip. So Wednesday, July 5th called for a 45-minute easy run as well. So I did go out. I actually took the Witten Max Cushion shoes out again. I've had a couple of people ask me about these since they saw the first video where I did some runs in these. So I'm trying to get this review video done because I know it's an interesting shoe to a lot of people. But anyway, took it out, tried to beat the rain. It was pretty stormy off in the distance, but luckily it never rained on me. It was a good run, just kept it very chill, easy paced, an 8:42 for about 5 miles. Yeah, it was a good run. So Friday, July 6th also called for a 45-minute easy run with some strides. However, I didn't do it. I'm the type of person that I don't like to run 2 days before a race. I don't like doing shakeout runs. I like to enjoy 2 days of rest with doing nothing, essentially, just letting the body totally get rested before a race. So I didn't do it, but I did get the van ready for going to Leadville again the next day because obviously I'm going to be camping in it, which you'll see. But yeah, Thursday, get the van ready, kind of get the mattress in there, get the curtains up on the window, things like that, and just relax, try not to do a whole lot of stuff. So Friday, July 7th was a true rest day, and that's exactly what I did, other than loading up the van a little more, getting water ready, because where I camp, there's no water, so you have to pack it in, whatever you need. So I got the water, I got that all situated in the van, my food, things like that, and then I also pre-taped my heels because I know that, especially on my left ankle where I wear that ankle brace, that it can sometimes dig in and back there. So I taped that up, taped the right heel as well, just to prevent any possible chance of blisters during the race the next day. So did all of that and then headed to Leadville. And it was just a perfect drive, no rain like last time. It was just beautiful, sunny. Gorgeous views. So once I got into Leadville, I went to Packet Pickup, got my bib, my shirt, this right here. Checked out the area. The start is crazy. I mean, it is straight up a hill, and there was a challenge that whoever could make it to the top first, male and female, would get a coin to get into the Leadville 100. So there were some people that started off like crazy, but yeah, it was a steep hill. So I checked that scene out for a little bit, went and flew my drone a couple places trying to get some footage for another video, the 100-mile video. So get some B-roll footage for that, did some of that. After flying the drone for a little bit, killing some time around town, I did go to my usual, the Golden Burrow plant-based restaurant. Really, really good food. Had a Philly cheesesteak, really awesome. And then went over to the campsite, kind of got settled in, got the van parked, and got my liquids all ready, all of that stuff for tomorrow. Got the bib pinned on my shorts, all of that ready to go for the next morning, and tried to turn in fairly early. It was like 9:30ish that night. I slept okay. Hey, real quick, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, and that is Vert.Run. I've been training with Vert.Run now for a little over 2 years, and it has seriously been one of the best things for the consistency in my training. I had always designed my own plans because I wasn't a new runner, but having a professional trail runner design your plan, having that person there, that accountability, has been amazing and really improved my running. So if you have been on the fence about getting a coach, I highly recommend trying Vert.Run. Look below in the description for a coupon code to save 40% off your first months of training, and a link to go download the app, whether you're on an Android or an iPhone. All right, back to the video. So Saturday, July 8th was race morning for the Silver Rush 50. So I got all my stuff done in the morning, ate my food, coffee, bathroom, all of that stuff, and then headed over to the start line. I had to take a shuttle again, went from a parking area to the start line just due to congestion, crowded. And then waited for the race to start. I only had about 20 minutes to wait from the time I got there, so it wasn't long. And the race started, went well. Obviously I did finish. You know, I've got the shirt on here. Stay tuned for the full video. It'll be out in a week, maybe 2 weeks, something like that. I'll try to get out as soon as I can. But it was a good race. It was challenging for sure. You know, we started off with basically a 10-mile climb right from the get-go. Went up to just over 12,000 feet, and just gorgeous with the sun coming up. I mean, it was beautiful. And then had a long descent, another climb, another descent, another climb. And the turnaround aid station at halfway was ridiculous. You came into the aid station, you could see it over here, but then they made you go up this like gulch, this like crazy rocks. You go up and around and then come back down to it. So they made you work to get to that aid station. But once I got there, turned around, headed back up. It was hot. It was so much different weather than the Leadville Trail Marathon, where we were snow and like hail and rain. This was hot. This was sunny the entire time, direct sun exposure. I got burnt. My neck is fried. My arm, like my watch burn here around the watch is crazy on my wrist. I did not put sunscreen on like I should have. Totally forgot it. That was my fault, but man, I got fried. And that last climb up to that final descent was brutal. It was very brutal, hot. I ran out of liquids twice in the race. You'll see all that in the video, but yeah, it was a challenge for sure. I finished, just missed my goal. My goal was to hopefully get 10 hours or just under 10 hours. I got 10 hours and 6 minutes, so very close. Still very happy with it overall, especially considering the, you know, what you'll see in the video. But it was a good race. It was definitely a challenge. Again, I fueled on Tailwind and Spring Energy Gels. I actually used 7 Spring Energy Gels and 7 packets of Tailwind. I also had 2 small cups of like Coca-Cola at an aid station, and then 2 pieces of watermelon. And that was it for the whole 10 hours. And I never felt like I bonked nutritionally. Felt like that went, you know, pretty well. I definitely had some electrolyte imbalance issues at some point in the race. Yeah, I mean, you'll see some of that in the video, but definitely had some things off there, some things to focus on, but I learned a lot for the Leadville 100. Pacing wise, I mean, obviously you're gonna have to dial it back a good bit, because afterward, you know, after the race, I felt tired, like my legs were tired, but I think it was mainly because I was had my electrolytes were off a little bit, and I was dehydrated because I'd run out of water. But other than that, dial that pace back a little bit for the 100-mile race for sure. You know, trying to hit that sub 25 goal for sure. That's the main target. But yeah, learned some good things for sure. And then I stuck around that day, trying again to get into that lottery for the Leadville 100 for the next year, so I could defer it. I stuck around till 8 when they did it, and then I didn't leave until about 9 o'clock that night. Did not get the lottery coin though, unfortunately, so it struck out on both of those, unfortunately. But I did decide to drive back that night then versus staying and camping again, which was my plan. But I really wanted a shower and I wanted to sleep in my own bed, so I did drive home and didn't get back to like 11:30 that night. It was rough. It was tiring. Well, today, Sunday, July 9th, is obviously a recovery day, and I got to be honest, I feel really good. Like, I'm very good. Like, my legs I feel like I just did about a 20-mile long run and that's it. Just very minimal soreness, no issues, no pain, no discomforts, no blisters on the feet after the race, no hot spots. I feel really good. Walking up the stairs is not tiring. Yeah, I feel really, really good. So that's very encouraging for the Leadville 100. Yeah, I'm on the right track for sure. Definitely got to continue the training and continue the strength work because my hip felt good during the race. Really no issues there with the hip. So I need to continue the strength training on the glutes and the hamstrings and the hips to keep that strong, to keep my trunk strong. Sounds weird. But I did get this medal here. I didn't show you it yet, but this is the finisher's medal. Let's see if it'll focus there. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of cool. Then on the back it just says finisher. My bib number was 91. There it is there. I also got a cool mirror. I think that's how you pronounce it. Metal cup. It's downstairs. I washed it, but it was neat cup. And then this shirt here, obviously from the race. But today is just recovery, hanging out. You know, I'll probably do some foam rolling. Not probably. I will definitely do foam rolling here in a little bit. But otherwise, I feel really, really good, and I'm very excited and encouraged about that. So overall, yes, I did a race yesterday, but this is a training for Leadville series, so let's go over the recap for the week. So total mileage for the week running was 53.19 miles, 10 hours and 37 minutes, 7,205 feet of gain. So good week for sure. Obviously there was a race, a harder effort in there, but I feel really good. Other than that, just had a little bit of hiking as well, nothing crazy, just some hikes there in Leadville at altitude. But that was it. That was it. So very, not a lot going on this week training wise, but that race was the big training effort. Having a 50-mile training run now, what is it, like 6 weeks before the race, is very, very good, perfect timing, and I'm feeling really, really just, yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for Leadville. I'm ready to go do the 100-miler. Well, thank you so much for following along. If you haven't already, why don't you go back and see last week's episode. It's on your screen there. Then I'll throw a playlist of the other series episodes on this side of the screen as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to everyone out there at the race that volunteered, everyone that said hi, cheered me on. There was quite a few people. I met a lot of people that had seen my Leadville Marathon video. And it was great to chat, share some miles with a lot of people, and just meet some awesome folks. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.